Hello and welcome. My name is John Michael Collins. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. The music you just heard is fun, upbeat, and kind of depicts me. It was provided by my friends Marino and Noah Correa, who are part of a company called CinemaSonic. Head over to their website down in the description to find out how you could get quality audio and visual works for your next project. My therapist last week encouraged me to document my voting experience. I'm a state of Georgia voter. I'm not going to go into the depth of what's going on because you can look at the news and find for yourself what's going on. If you search for the truth, you will find the truth. My therapist was like, wow, it's so exciting to know somebody in Georgia. What an exciting time right now. I'm starting to realize that exciting can mean maybe, exciting can be applied in different ways. But I recorded the day of just kind of what I was feeling. So we're going to jump on into that right now and just share that with you. So I just voted and it was kind of scary to look at the name that was on the machine. The name of the machine, the company it's from, is called Dominion. What's that? From what I've heard, there's some pretty bad stuff with that company, but I won't get into it. I did it. I voted. I got a sticker. Let's see, Mr. Collins, how do you feel right now? I'm a little nervous. Got those voting jitters. Because it's like a test, You look at the bubble that you filled in a bunch of times. I guess in my case it was, I didn't fill it in. I tapped on it with a special pandemic stylus. It's like it was like let me get my hand sanitizer on my hands. It was kind of like a pencil, but kind of like a straw, and it had one of the rubber stylus thingies on the front of it. So I filled out my selections. Well, I tapped on my selections using that. The Dominion system printed my ballot, and I took it over to the machine for it to be counted. In and out within 5 minutes. Wow, who would have thought that on voting day it wouldn't take me that long to vote in Atlanta, Georgia? Wow. Reporting from DeKalb County. And yeah, so I guess we'll leave it there. And God bless you all. And now, let's see, any other feelings that I have? I just hope, without going too far into it, there are corrupt people in both parties, people who say they swear by the truth, but actually do not. It's a shame, it's a disgrace to everything this country stands for, and I just pray that God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah, so stay tuned. All we can really do is hope and pray and keep our chins up and not get too tied up with it and not let it mess with who we are as a person. I will continue to be who I am, but I will make logical choices to the best of my ability. This is John Michael Collins. I just voted in the historical Georgia Senate runoff election thing. Wow. That's how it went. And just kind of sitting and waiting to see what happens. I guess it is kind of exciting to see and hear what's going on in a way. It's nerve-wracking. It's like, as someone told me today, it's like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. action and comedy, romance, maybe. Speaking of processing thoughts, if you are just joining, this podcast is a personal and therapeutic tool I call a vocal diary. It's a space for me to process thoughts, explore stories, and post them for those who might be interested, hopefully inspiring someone. And by the way, Taiwan, thank you for joining. That's super awesome. Shout out to you. I've actually been in your country, and your country is pretty awesome. I believe you can reference my Taiwan experience in episode 1 or 2. Speaking of episode 1 and 2, I'm not doing this for any type of social gain or to be a better human. Episodes 1 and 2 talk about who I am, so please give them a listen if you haven't. A quick disclosure that going on tangents may or may not be involved. This show is conversationally true to how I speak. EDC Crate. They have some very cool items on their website. I bought their Billy Boys cologne, and oh my goodness, it smells so good. That noise, that is me taking the cologne on, with the cap on, rubbing the cap on the microphone. So I'm going to take the cap off. Oh my goodness, yum. It's very, very good smelling. I put it on my sweatshirt maybe a week ago. I don't know how many, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And now it's getting like this really, it's getting much sweeter. I just want to give myself a big hug. So to the folks at EDC Crate, thank you so much for letting me be on this adventure of cologne smells with you. I'm excited to try the smells of your other colognes as well. And in the episode description, you can find the coupon code if you're interested in buying anything on their website, GQT 15%. Here we go. Let's jump on in to when I enjoyed running. I said last episode that... What did I say last episode? I said how I'm a very analytical person. I like graphs, I like charts. I just like data, kind of, in my own certain way. I'm not a statistician, but I do like numbers and Excel sheets. So I'm like an amateur statistician. I'm an amateur at everything other than being myself. I'm a professional at being myself. Speaking of being a professional, I'm not a professional at running. I don't run often. Very seldomly do I run. I used to enjoy running for the satisfaction afterward. Recently, my dad told me how he would run, or he still runs, because of the mental exercise it does for him. Not only the physical exercise, but the mental exercise. And I unfortunately have lost that experience somewhere. So hopefully in the future I can enjoy that again. I mean, the future is tomorrow. The future is a second from now, a millisecond from now. I enjoyed running, I think really in college the most, like 2011, anywhere between 2011 and 2015. That's when I was in college. But it's such a challenge. I guess it's really good to do things that are challenging for you because it gets you out of the habit of being lazy. You could probably write a book filled with things to do to counteract laziness. I recently discovered a new exercise. So in the morning or sometime during the day, I try to stretch, which just includes, like some push-ups, some sit-ups, some basic stretches, some other stuff, I think. Ooh, I should do jumping jacks. Yeah, I'll do that next. But last night, there's 2 things that I rediscovered. So you're sitting on your butt with your feet kind of like maybe a foot off the ground, and you cross your ankles, and you make, maybe they're called rowers, I don't know. You make like a fist with your hand, and you're alternating back and forth from side to side, like kind of twisting your abs. And you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, and I go all the way up to 20. And that really works your abs. And so I've been doing that. And then last night I discovered I did like the bicycle rower thing where you are laying on your back and you put your hands behind your head and basically you alternate your legs, bringing your knee in to your head. So yeah, now that's fun and it's exciting to do that. Back in December, my housemate from France, shout out to you in France. One night he's just like, hey, do you want to go for a run? I'm like, I'm going through some stuff right now, being kind of sad about this thing that's going on in my life. Sure, why not? So we went, and we ended up running 4 miles. I didn't run consistently. I ran like off and on, but holy smokes, was it such a great exercise, not only for my body, but for my mind. That was so good. That experience of loving that feeling will fuel your motivation to get up and go at it more. Maybe it's not running. Maybe it's doing those like rower things. Maybe it's going for a walk. I've also been going for walks almost every day. But it's so cold here now with the wind chill in Georgia, that you just gotta wear another layer or so, like a coat, you know? To win meteors are cool. Ooh. So I was thinking of different, like times just now during that little moment that I had of like stargazing. And kinda you can't because there's a bunch of light pollution, but actually some places there's not as much light pollution as you think. By the way, a meteor is a piece of matter that's flying through outer space. Sometimes, like, through our atmosphere, and sometimes, I think it's always through our atmosphere. If Jupiter was not a planet, then we would see more shooting stars, aka meteors. How terrifying would it be if a meteor just, crashed into my current location? And I walked away from it? How cool would that be? Anyway, meteors are cool. I think one time I found... there was this meteor shower when I was little. I was with my mom and dad and sisters, I think. We were living in... I think it was in our backyard in Wellington, Colorado. And it was a clear night, and we saw meteors. The other week when Jupiter and... Saturn? Yeah, when Jupiter and Saturn, neared each other. I guess that was technically stargazing, but it didn't really feel like it because, I was looking at planets. Maybe before that time, it's when I was driving around the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State with 2 of my friends. It was just pitch black dark. And we pulled off on the side of the road in this one place. This was, back in August of 2020. Wow, that was 4 months ago. Yeah, I don't think we saw any meteors. Maybe I did while we were driving. But it was so dark. And then we got out, we pulled off on this road. But holy cow, it felt like something was following us. I was just looking up at the stars. And I got this sense... I think I heard a squirrel or something crawling in the grass. But then I felt like there was something bigger, maybe a moose. Not even a moose, maybe just I don't even want to begin to put a name on it. But it wasn't a squirrel. In a third of a second, I jumped on top of the car because, yeah, that was the safest place to be. Not inside of the car. I think the car was locked, so I decided to jump on top of the car. Meteors. If you ever look up at the sky and you see a light that's moving slowly and it's not flashing, it's a satellite. Go outside at night, look up at the sky, be like, wow, this is so beautiful. I am so lucky to be here in this moment. And the thought of me being in this moment right now seems impossible. I can't tell you whether or not it seems impossible, but that's something along the lines of what I would say. To when the moon seems close. Here I'm getting into my my space scientist. No, what do you call it? By the way, it's also cool if you have a phone, you can download a stargazing app and you can see on it like where certain stars are in the sky, where maybe a meteor shower is, where the satellites are, and I'll post a link to it, but I use an app called Starwalk, and you can like fast forward to a certain time, like maybe tomorrow at 5:15 p.m., and you can see where Venus is in the sky. Is it going to be like out of your sight or not? Is it going to be close to the sun? Is it going to be away from the sun? Is it ever close to the sun? And you can click on it and you can just like fast forward the calendar at like warp speed and be like, wow, it's 2030 now. Where's Venus going to be now? 2021 has just been a continuation, if not a new chapter of exploring my thoughts. My phone wants me to take a health update survey. Why? Why does it care? I guess just, to be simple and quick. Without even going into too much detail, the other night I took a zoomed in photo of the moon with my 230mm, 250mm lens on my camera. And wow, the moon seemed really close. No, but seriously. When you look at the moon, have you ever seen the moon? Have you ever just stopped and looked at the moon? The moon helps you to realize just how small we are. And the moon is also so small in compared to Jupiter. And Jupiter is so small compared to our solar system. And our solar system is so small compared to our galaxy. Our galaxy is so small in comparison to the universe. And the universe is so small in comparison to God, Lord Yahweh, who loved you and me so much that he came into our world to show us how much he loves us by dying, defeating death, defeating sin, rising, and ascending. And that however far away you think you are, you can follow him. He came to die and defeat sin and give eternal life to those who would believe in him. And there is nothing bigger than him. Ultimate, almighty, wonderful, marvelous, the heaven-born Prince of Peace. I am glad that you are here. I know it might be hard for what you're going through, but don't give up. Hang tight, hold strong. Just because it seems like there's clouds and you can't see anything beyond them, you can know that there is because of what you know that is true. I really, 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 really want to thank you from the deepest part of my heart for tuning in to this episode. If you liked it, please share it with your family and friends and anybody and everyone you know. Also, if you don't mind, head over to my website, which is my creative portfolio, johnmichaelcollins.com.
I'm just a little monkey. I'm a monkey. I am a monkey. Do you want to be a monkey too? If you want to be a monkey, you should eat a banana and stand on your head and then walk down the street sideways.
Thanks for listening.